For today's video, I'm going to provide you the latest travel requirements for all US citizens going to Philippines. Please take note that US citizens do not need a visa to travel to the Philippines. This is because there is this Executive Order number 408. So what is this EO number 408? This EO 408 lists the countries where nationals are entitled to a visa-free stay in the Philippines for 30 days. So if you are a foreign national and you see your country in this list, so I'm going to post in the description the list of countries. So if your country is included in the Executive Order number 408, you don't need a visa to travel to the Philippines. And US is one of the countries listed in the Executive Order. So if you are a US citizen, you don't need to apply for a visa. However, you have the option of applying for a visa from a Philippine consulate here in the US. But my advice is you can travel to the Philippines without applying for a visa, and you can receive 30 days of visa-free stay in the Philippines. There is no cost to this visa, and you will receive this when you arrive at the airport. Let's talk about the requirements for other US citizen passengers. Please be aware of the different travel rules depending on the type of passenger. So please make sure that you comply with these immigration entry requirements. Foreigners under EO 408 do not need a visa. In addition, you must have a passport valid for at least 6 months at the time of your arrival in the Philippines. Also, you must have a return or onward ticket. The requirement is that your return or onward ticket must be within 30 days for non-visa required countries under Executive Order number 408. Also, you must not be a restricted, blacklisted, or considered excluded alien by the Bureau of Immigration. Here's an illustration for foreign nationals. For foreign tourists, there are two classifications: visa-free under EO 408 and visa required. These are countries not included under EO or Executive Order number 408. So visa-free privileges, 30 days, and 9A visa will be 59 days single entry visa. Other classifications of foreign nationals: former Filipino citizens, also foreign spouse, and there are different requirements if they are traveling with Filipino or former Filipino, or if they are traveling alone, they will be treated as a foreign tourist. Also, there are foreign children traveling with Filipino or former Filipino parent. And other classification of foreign nationals are holders of valid visa. Let's talk about first the requirement of a passport. What is the requirement? Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months or more. So why is this a requirement? Under Philippine laws, if you are a foreign national going to the Philippines, your passport must be valid for at least 6 months or beyond the date of your travel. So this is actually a rule in the Philippines. Another important information is that the name in your passport must match exactly the name in your itinerary or your ticket or your boarding pass. So everything should match. Return or onward ticket will be required for foreign tourist or foreign spouse traveling alone, and it must be not later than 30 days. If you are a former Filipino citizen, you are entitled to a balikbayan privilege of 1 year stay in the Philippines. Also, return or onward ticket is not required for former Filipino citizens. Let's talk about the e-travel registration. All travelers to the Philippines must register for e-travel. There is an important update regarding e-travel registration. There was a press release issued by the Bureau of Customs, and they are temporarily suspending the green lane clearance to streamline passenger processing. So this means that if you have nothing to declare or your QR code shows green and without declaration, then you don't have to go through the customs inspection. This was effective August 14 of 2025, and this initiative was prompted due to feedbacks from the traveling public regarding the long queues at customs arrival area. So this is also in line with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to improve government services, enhance process efficiency, and ensure a smooth travel experience for the traveling public. All passengers going to the Philippines, whether you are Filipino or non-Filipino, must register for e-travel within 72 hours. Make sure that you register for e-travel before you arrive at the Philippine airport. There are several notices at the airport, and it says that the e-travel registration is mandatory. Another important information is that if you're going to bring money or take out money from the Philippines, you also need to declare the currencies, whether US currencies or Philippine currencies, so depending on the amount. And then failure to register for e-travel may be a cause for denial of entry. So I recommend to register for e-travel within 72 hours or within 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days of your travel to the Philippines. There are two options when registering for e-travel. First, you can search the website etravel.gov.ph and make sure that you go to the correct government website. Second option is you can download the eGov app, but based on my experience, I actually used my personal computer and registered for e-travel. You will also need a selfie or picture, so make sure to upload a picture from your computer or phone, or you can also take a selfie. Here's my actual e-travel registration. I used my personal computer, and then you will also need your email address. So it's important that you use your valid email address. And then if you have a family member traveling with you, you can include that family member in your own account. So that means that family member doesn't have to register on his or her own. And then the QR code will just show in your email address, and you can just download the QR code for both of you. When it comes to entering the flight information, the flight that will take you direct to Manila or to any airport in the Philippines will be the flight information that you will have to enter. For example, I traveled from Las Vegas to Manila, but I have a connecting flight in South Korea, so I have to enter the South Korean flight from Incheon Airport to Manila. So that will be the flight information here when you register. Also, I registered 2 days before the date of my departure, because if I registered ahead, like 3 days before, the date of arrival in the Philippines will not show, or the calendar will not show the actual date. So I need to register 2 days before the date of my departure. Now, the destination, you have the option of using your residence or a hotel. And then for health declaration, you don't need COVID vaccination requirement or COVID vaccine, because that has been removed from the requirement 2 years ago. Let's talk about the online customs declaration form. What is the requirement in filling out this form? After registering for e-travel, you will be connected to the customs declaration. Now, you have to declare your customs baggage and also the currencies that you will be bringing to the Philippines. Please take note that you will also have to enter the information of the family member that will be traveling with you, including the number of baggage or hand-carried baggage. And then just follow the instructions in entering the information. Let's talk about goods and currencies when traveling to the Philippines. What is considered as a personal item as opposed to items that are considered for sale or for commercial use? If you have items that you bought from the US and you are bringing it to the Philippines, the question is, are these personal items or are these for commercial use or for sale? If these are for personal use, then it is exempt from the customs duties and taxes up to a certain amount. And then for other goods or purchased acquired abroad, there are some questions regarding the Philippine currency and other items that you will have to declare if it exceeds the quantities for personal use or you are using it for commercial purposes. But if you have nothing to declare, just enter no. And then if you have anything to declare, just enter the information, the amount, and then the description. So based on my personal experience, I have some items that I wanted to declare. So I put like $100, and then you can also declare other goods that are not mentioned in the questionnaire. Just enter the quantity or the goods and then the description of the items that you will be bringing to the Philippines. And then when I entered the customs area in the Philippines, they only asked me what I have to declare. And then I said like I only have like grocery items, and they just let me go. So it was pretty much easy to go through the customs and the immigration in the Philippines as long as you have your valid passport and e-travel registration. I wasn't asked any more documents aside from my US passport and e-travel. So it was pretty much easy. It was hassle-free as long as you did your registration ahead of time, and then you can easily claim your baggage without issues. If you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you guys for supporting my channel. And if you haven't liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to follow my Facebook page, Documents and Visas. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.